Oh, dumplings.
Yeah, we could say that.
Hi, Ming and Joy and Joe and Mark and Nat and the whole rest of the family. Here is a tape visit from your loving sister, Muriel,
And
and
your loving niece and cousin, Kay.
and all the rest of
Surprise,
them,
surprise.
and all the rest of them when we can catch them.
Yeah.
It's May 19th, 1974, and we're sitting here in our living room at home on Lowry Street, in peace and quiet on a Sunday evening, determined to get this letter started to you. We really enjoyed the tape that you sent, and it was really a thrill to hear your voices since it's been so long since we've seen most of you. And it's already 2 years since we've seen Ming. But it's been, it's more than 10 years since we have seen Joy, isn't it? That was 1962 when we were back there. It's 12 years.
Yeah.
Joy, since we've seen you and Nat and Mark. Mark was a little guy, only 3 years old when he saw
3 years
him.
old.
Hard to believe he's a real tall teenager now. Well, we missed the card games, Ming. We haven't had a good canasta game since we last saw you.
Oh, Jean and I were just invited today to play a game, some canasta, over at Vera and Lester Balkan's house today. But we refused them. So, yeah, but if I had been playing canasta more often, I probably wouldn't have gotten out of the game, you know.
Oh, it would have come back to you. Why didn't you take him up on it?
Well, you were in a rut.
Oh, yes, that's for sure.
We need Ming around here to sharpen us up on the game. Boy, he'll get us sharpened up and fast.
Yeah, it takes that viv and verb and determination and a good, lots of volume.
Somebody that wants to play all the time.
Right, and 2 decks of cards, which I still don't have.
Boy, Ming, you're really gonna wonder about us. Oh. Say, oh no, well,
Where should we start?
I was gonna mention that thing I made for him, but
All right.
maybe I shouldn't. That way it'll be a surprise.
Okay, but how much longer is he going to have to wait for it?
Next Christmas.
Ming, Kay made you a present for this last Christmas, and I don't know why she hasn't got it sent. I guess it's just not finished yet.
Oh, well, yeah, I think it's finished, really. It's just that mailing something off, is such a...
Well, she decided to make all her Christmas presents this last Christmas, and as a result, she didn't get them all mailed. So those that didn't get theirs this Christmas will probably get them next Christmas. But anyhow,
that sounds terrible, but I
yeah,
guess it's true.
it really does. But she was thinking of you and still is.
Right. Well, what I made you can be for your birthday present, too.
Right.
If they had an Uncle's Day, maybe I'd mail it to you for a Uncle's Day present. Not a Father's Day. Anyhow, if I ever get it sent off to you, I'm pretty sure you'll like it. You'll probably even use it. It's decoupaged, I'll tell you that much. Probably June or Janice or any of them that's probably done any kind of decoupage could tell you what's involved with that. Anyhow, it was fun to do, and it's got your name plastered all over, so I can't give it to anybody else. It's yours whenever I get it sent to you.
There, did you hear that, Ming? It's on record. Well, as you know, we had a wedding in our family this spring. And we're a pretty small group right now. At least we feel that way every once in a while.
Yeah.
Okay, Susan and Rufus are down in Alabama. Rufus has a job, and they have bought a 2-bedroom trailer and have set up housekeeping. So Susan is finally using all her new wedding presents and is happy as a lark. and they have their trailer parked on a lot that his mother bought next to the grandparents. And I believe they've given up the idea of chicken farming, thank goodness, because the buildings were so run down, and of course they found out that it takes money to get started in anything. And they're doing good, just working and starting to make payments on their house trailer. It's really a pretty nice house trailer, I guess, or I guess you would call it a mobile home. It has 2 bedrooms and a full bathroom, kitchen, good-sized living room, nice new furniture in the living room, and a washing machine. She says she has a gas stove, an electric oven, and a brand new refrigerator, and a new table and chair set. And of course she has her own hi-fi. And
Well, the main thing is the trailer house is brand new.
yeah, it's just like a brand new. It is a brand new home.
100 times better than anything else around them.
And there was absolutely no place to rent. They looked all over for a place to rent, but couldn't find one. Well, here we are again. Had to take a recess there and get a drink of water. I wanted to give you Susan's address. They are using the grandparents' post office box number now, so it will be Box 510, Route 3, Montevallo, which is spelled Montevalo, Alabama, and zip code is 35115. Okay? Well, guess who just came in the door?
Guess who just came in the door? I bet you can't guess.
Yeah, Muriel just come in.
I know you can't mistake that sound, so
you can tell how
maybe we can
Ted.
have a little visiting on this tape now from Jean and Ted. Take turns, boys. Here you go.
Okay, go ahead, Ted.
Yeah, well, you go first. I'm eating candy.
It's all mine.
Yeah, he's got his mouth full of candy.
I got one mouthful of candy too.
Where's ours?
Yes, where's ours?
It's up there in the fridge. If you want it, go get it. That's all there is right here, a little piece.
Oh,
whole bar.
Go get it, huh? Oh boy.
They just came back. Ted just came back from a mining trip. Okay.
Okay, pass it around.
And every time he goes out of town, he stocks up on candy.
I
So this
bought-
is the remains.
I bought it for them Salt Lake people to eat. And they ate pretty all of it. There's a couple left out there.
Oh, I saw that stock of candy bars when I went looking
coffee?
in the other refrigerator. I guess it's dripping. Kay just made a fresh pot.
Who's that you're taping to?
Oh, I just poured myself
Ming
a
and
cup
Joy.
of coffee.
Nat,
Pour yourself some.
Mark,
Hi, Nath. Hi,
John.
Joy. Hi, Ming.
and Ray and Jerome when they can catch them.
Yeah, and I hope you're all fishing and getting fat, like Kay.
Oh, wow.
And June and Rex and the whole blamed clan.
Oh.
Let's see who else is up there.
John and Mark and
They were down here.
Ray and Jerome.
Ray and Jerome.
Yeah,
Kelly?
and Kelly.
Kelly. Right.
Sure would like to hear from them.
Yep.
Next tape you make, try to get them all to visit on it. Okay, Ted, do you want to tell them a little bit about your mining trip up there to Eureka?
Well, we went up there Friday morning. A friend of mine, partner of mine, Stan, he was to meet some people in Salt Lake there at the airport in Eureka. It's up here about 400 miles up in Nevada. So we met them, and they flew in, and we took them out 50 miles to a mine out there, and they acted real interested in buying it. So when they get done with their testing on the ore they took, well, they'll let us know soon next week. So I don't know what they're going to do. We had a good trip, come back, and we're only gone 2 days.
You must have done a lot of mountain climbing though while you were there.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah,
had
I'm
to
a
work
regular
off all that
mountain goat.
candy.
Yeah.
No, he was bushed, which is why I know he must have been doing some climbing around.
Yeah, well, that's about all it was. I get home last night about 11 o'clock and got to bed about midnight, and I'm still tired out. Going to go to bed pretty soon, too. They ain't got a TV show on. If there's one of them blood and guts westerns
Yeah.
on, I'm going to watch that, though.
Oh no, because we're going to make this tape to the kids. Say, we forgot to say hello to Tim and Janice, too. And we enjoyed hearing from them on their last tape and hope that they had a nice trip down to the Lake Tahoe region. It must be pretty nice now. All you kids have nice new homes. Janice and Tim and Jerome and Ray and June and Rex. I suppose you're all enjoying your places. It would be sure fun to take a trip up to Seattle sometime and get reacquainted with everybody. I remember how you played the piano when you were here, Janice. So I suppose you have your own piano now, too. I play mine as every chance I can get when we're not watching TV, which isn't very often. The TV's usually going most of the time. It needs some repair, though. They've got a couple keys down, so I need somebody to come out and check it out and see what it needs and tune it. But I really cherish my piano. And I sure wish, Joy, that you would do some piano playing. I'd love to have some of your music on tape to keep. And I hope that you really aren't having that much trouble with arthritis that you can't play the piano. What in the world is the matter, anyhow? You sounded like you were really ill. And I sure hope that's not the case. You know, you aren't even 60 yet, and you sure aren't old. I hope that you really make an effort to get the best of whatever it is that's bothering you. And for goodness sakes, don't give up your piano playing. I remember you in my prayers every night along with everybody else, and sure do believe in prayer. And I hope that you will do everything that you can for yourself. Don't just give up and sit there and waste your life. Because life is precious. We all just have so much time. And you're far from old when you're still in your 50s. I remember, of course, it's a state of health. But in this day and age, something ought to be able to be done for you so that you can feel better. And you have a real talent where the piano is concerned. I hope you still have your piano, and I sure hope that you start playing it again and do some tapes for us. I know that that's what Tootie wants to hear from you, too, besides visits, of course. But she'd love to have some of your piano playing on tape, and so would I. I remember how much fun we had when we were up there, and remember that time we were there when Fred Pick came too on his way back from Seattle. Bill was playing his bongo drums, and you were playing the piano. Ming was playing the spoons. Say, Ming, I thought of you. I thought of you one night a week or so ago when I was watching Johnny Carson's show, and he had a fellow on there who played the spoons. And he wasn't a bit better than you were when you played the spoons for us. Remember? Well, that time that we were up there in Seattle, we were having so much fun all together, and Fred got out of a taxi or something and came walking up the street. And he recognized the place just from the music noise we were making. I guess he knew his relatives. And Ming, happy birthday. I meant this tape to be your birthday card. And of course, I'm about a month late, but it still is your birthday card, and I hope you had a really happy birthday. Let's see now. You must be 55, right? I hear tell that Janice baked you a birthday cake, and I'm sure you had a big birthday celebration. Hope you took some pictures, and remember to send us some too. Birthdays are important family celebrations here too. About the only time I bake a cake anymore is on a birthday, when somebody has a birthday, because we are all trying to lose weight. Well, John will be getting married next Saturday, and I wish we could come to the wedding, but it's just not possible. So we'll be getting his present in the mail, and wish him all the luck in the world. Because they must have a good supply by now of everything. Where are they going to live? I hope you write and tell us that, or send a tape.
Yeah, send a tape.
And is John going to teach again next year? And if so, where? According to Joy's letters, she wasn't sure where he was going to be. He's got his job application.
Of course, he may not really sure either, too.
No, probably not. It's true, they're hiring, as you said in your letter, Joy, they're hiring blacks in preference over whites, and they're doing the same thing here. And not only do they take the Las Vegas blacks, but they're recruiting them all over back east. It's enough to make you have apoplexy just thinking about it. Really. I read in the paper where they were recruiting the... I'd like to have a long blue line right there. Yeah. But they are actually recruiting them back east in Detroit and in the big centers like that. As if they didn't have enough of them right here in Las Vegas.
Las Vegas seems like it's about half colored now.
That's enough for the school district.
Yeah, without getting obscene.
It's bad enough
I mean, we want to keep this nice.
Within bounds, so to speak.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard when you start thinking about that situation.
Yeah, it sure is.
Well, back to the wedding.
Yeah, get back to a good subject.
I imagine you're all up in arms, getting yourselves ready in new outfits and such, and making plans for the big event. Write and tell us what you get to wear and what you do, and so on and so forth. I've had prints made of negatives of pictures that we took after the wedding, ourselves, after the wedding, at the reception and at home. And I'll be sending some extra prints to you of Susan's wedding reception and such. We had regular photographs taken too, but I can't afford any extras on those, so.
Well, we could hardly afford them ourselves.
Oh, they were expensive for every one of the girls, but they're even more expensive now, just like everything else going up in price. But anyhow, I can send you some prints of our own snapshots.
Yeah, there was quite a few.
And they turned out pretty darn good, I thought.
Yeah. There's a real good group picture taken here at home that Mom forgot to get extra prints made of when she had this last batch done. So I guess as soon as she gets those,
yeah, and then both sets of
printed
parents.
up, then you'll get those too.
Yeah.
With the 3 couples, and then the 3 sisters with their husbands, and then both sets of parents.
Yeah. The only sister missing was Sharon.
We had a real nice reception at the church afterwards, and it was lovely and fun, but we couldn't have champagne there because it's one of the rules of the church. So we bought a few bottles of champagne, and
We had them here.
had a few friends come over to the house after the reception at the church, and we had our champagne here at the
And
house.
Susan and Rufus were here.
Yes, and Susan,
Rufus's mother and
Rufus's folks were
Yeah.
here, and friends of ours, and the kids. And we took some more snapshots here at the house, too, besides the ones at the church.
And we decorated the reception hall up real nice that afternoon.
I thought that looked so nice.
Yeah,
Put streamers
Jean and Janet and I all
It's been a couple hours out there tonight.
We were out there all
yellow
afternoon.
and aqua streamers. The walls in that multipurpose room are yellow. Carpet is a real pretty turquoise color. And Susan's colors were yellow and white. And so we went with those. Everything just went together
Yeah, it's really
perfectly as far as the colors and such.
The bridesmaids' dresses were blue, a real pretty shade of light clear blue.
With white lace trimming.
So we
On the
carried that
sleeves
color
and
scheme
neckline.
through, and the reception room too. We had
Well, like a blue lace type.
we had a blue
Table
covers
for
on the
the cake
tables under the
table.
lace tablecloths,
Mhm.
and the cake was yellow and white with yellow roses. The streamers were yellow and white, weren't they?
Yellow and aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there were white
Well, like
white
blue,
bells.
whatever
We had
you.
white bells
Yeah.
on the.
Anyway, the colors scheme carried through real nice, and it looked so pretty and festive. And everybody had a real good time because we had friends invited that had
We
known
had,
each other for years.
Jack's
Oh yeah,
mother-in-law from
everybody knew
California.
everybody else.
And Jack's, yeah.
Jack's.
Yeah, in a way, Jack and Sharon were represented by his folks.
And they surprised
Which
us. They
was
didn't
really
tell
nice.
us
Yeah,
that they
I was-
were coming.
I told him once or twice how hot they were to see him.
Yeah.
That was really nice of him.
But that's
Really
just
was.
like them, you know.
Yeah,
They
they're
just
good
rather
people.
come and
Yeah.
surprise you like this. You don't know when they're coming. You don't know when they're leaving, you know. And
pulled up
they're
in
just
them.
there, and then they go just as fast as they come.
We pulled up in the parking lot of the church before the wedding, and here were Jack's mom and dad. Had just pulled in there too, and boy, did we have a nice
Yeah, you know
reunion.
what? I thought
Yeah.
I heard talking
They
out
came-
there, and I couldn't figure out what it was.
They came over from Lakewood, California for the wedding that night.
Was it? Didn't he work Friday night? They left.
And
Also?
yeah, I think they stayed overnight, but they left early the next
Yeah,
morning to
right.
get back to California.
And then they had it back.
They came out to the house after the wedding to visit. What else should we tell them? Everything went off so nice.
Well, Susan's dress was beautiful. She really made a beautiful bride.
Yeah. And Rufus was a very good bridegroom.
Rufus did us proud.
Oh
He
yeah.
Very
looked
good.
so elegant and acted, and he was nice. And that wasn't all. He was grateful for us going to the effort and the expense of giving them such a nice
Mhm.
wedding. He made a particular point of thanking me for that.
Yeah, I would.
He really
Yeah, I just happened to be in the same room at the time he
Yep.
was thanking you, and I really thought it was something else
And he
myself.
wasn't just saying it to be saying it.
No,
was
he
sincere.
meant it. Hmm.
Now, by all this, you're probably going to think, oh, he must really be something else for you to just go on and on about how nice he was at the wedding. But he really is nice
He's a
all the
good
time.
person, that's all.
It's just
Yeah.
that those guys are from way down south, and his brothers
Well,
don't seem to know a whole heck of a lot about, like dressing formally for things and all that
they
stuff.
come from a
But,
farm area, just like a lot of our own relatives did, if you stop to think
Yeah,
about
that's
it.
true. That's true.
And Rufus was raised on a farm by his grandparents until he was 15 or 16. And that's the kind of life that he knows and likes. And when his mother and stepfather came out here to Las Vegas, the boys came too, he and his brothers, and got work in the hotels, but he simply didn't like it here.
Yeah.
He didn't like working in the hotels, and he just decided that he wanted to go back to where he was raised and try getting work there and seeing how he could make it. So that's what they're
Well,
doing.
he and Susan were ready to elope there
Oh, good
for
grief.
a while, but
Well,
they decided, well, hey, maybe
they made up their minds to get married, and they went and got their license
better
without
be
saying
married in
anything
the
to the
church
rest of
instead
us.
just eloping. So,
Well, Well, Kate
knowing
was
that,
like
too.
this. They went and got their license
I
and
know
made up
how
their
it
minds they would
was.
get married the next week.
Yeah.
And that they would invite the close relatives to come with them down to the
At
courthouse
first
to
they
get
didn't
married.
think they wanted a very big wedding at all.
Yeah, true.
But they soon changed their minds, which we didn't have to talk them
They
into
just
it.
weren't thinking that far ahead in any respect. They just made up their mind they would get married. All right. But as we got into the wedding preparation, Susan enjoyed it more and more, and I think Rufus did too.
Oh, he did. He did.
Yeah.
So everything turned out to be real nice, and I hope the same is true for John. If he has even half as good a time, why, he'll have a good time.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And he must be getting a nice girl. He's been going with her, must be about 3 years. They should know each other real well by now, and should have a real good chance of having a happy marriage.
By the way, how did they meet anyway? I've kind of forgotten that. Maybe you can
I don't think we
fill
ever
us in on
heard.
a few details like that on your next tape.
Yeah, when you make your tape, tell us more about John and Carol's romance, and also about where they'll be living and working and
And their
all
wedding
of
and
the wedding.
every
All the
detail like
details.
that. Yeah.
Right.
And Kelly can describe the dresses and
Kelly
all
can tell
that.
us all about it.
Oh, I hope Kelly gets to be a flower girl this time,
Oh yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
because she
She will.
loves weddings.
Remember how she was 2 years ago
Oh, yes.
when they
Yeah.
visited on their way? Were they on their way back to?
Oh, how she
Seattle?
loved that old bride doll of Susan's. I sure hope that Jerome and Ray bought her a bride doll that year for Christmas.
Well, she was just all enthralled with
Weddings.
just brides and weddings.
Mm-hmm.
She would sit down and tell you about at least one wedding, maybe more, that she went to or knew of, and she'd be describing the dresses. And as little as she was, she was so exact about the details and so careful to try to name the color with just the right name. And you know, it was just something fantastic.
She had
She was
gone to
really
a wedding.
entertaining.
I think she had gone to a wedding that spring, and it had made a big impression on her.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope she has a part in this wedding of John's and Carol's. Well,
Okay, well, this is Kay, and Jean and I thought maybe we would tell you a little about our yard. Joy's always telling us about all the different things she's got growing and blooming in her yard, so I guess I'll start off with the tomato plants. I've got, oh dear, I shouldn't have thought about counting them because I'll be here all night.
Oh, that does me so.
Oh, we do not. We've got
Okay.
24 of them in one little planter that was there temporarily until we could get them transplanted in the garden. They're all about 2 feet high and overgrown with tomatoes and blossoms. So I don't know if I'm going to be doing much transplanting.
Okay.
But we also have 3-tiered planter of strawberries
Good
that
about
we've had now for about going on 2 years.
yeah.
And they're just doing marvelously. We've had there for a while at their peak, we were getting a pint of strawberries every other day, and we would have them fresh on our breakfast cereal.
Go out in the morning and pick them off there and wash them off and sit out there in the patio and have our fresh strawberries on our cereal in the morning.
Oh,
It was
boy,
very
that was
nice.
a treat, wasn't it?
Really nice.
Yeah, we don't have any rainy weather here to keep us inside.
And believe it or not, the 118-degree weather in the summer didn't really hurt them, and the snow we had in January here didn't hurt them at all. We had a couple inches of snow on top of them and almost buried them, didn't even see them, and snow melted away, and there they go still, coming on strong. Didn't bother them.
Yeah.
So they're good strawberry plants.
tell them again how much snow we had. I don't think they know.
I
What
don't
do we
know.
have? 7 inches?
7 inches of
7
snow.
inches. Well, that was a record since 49. Yeah, since 1949.
Yeah, that broke the 49.
49
record.
record. Broke the 49 record.
Okay, well, I guess this is side 2, and we'll continue about our yard. Are you ready?
Ready or not? Here we go.
Yeah. We'll bore you with some more stuff about our yard. Let's see, we didn't mention our roses.
Hey, they bought their own wheelbarrow now too, so I can get my own bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess we've been using hers for about, oh Lord.
2 years.
A little while.
Yeah, it boggles the mind, when you start thinking about how long you've actually had it.
Of course,
Well,
that gives me an excuse not to rake the yard.
Yeah, I've got some nice.
Well, we've raked
Roses,
our yard many
rose
times
bushes.
with her wheelbarrow.
I've got a Tropicana, and I've got a portrait, and I've got some Mojave, and a peace rose, real pretty peace rose.
We have 3 of that one color, Chicago Peace, that
Chicago
real
Peace.
pretty medium pink.
Of course, the best one is
peace
my
rose.
Tropicana. That's a beautiful rose.
Yeah.
Smells so good. We got
Well, you have one in the
in the front yard, which is
and
about
then
8 years old. It's a good old
one on the
establishment.
side with
One
the
on the
rest
side.
of them.
We got that climbing, was it climbing blaze?
Yeah, red blaze.
Red blaze, climbing red blaze.
And Miss American Beauty.
Yeah, alongside.
Now that was a puny little rose bush, but it's starting to do better now
Yeah, it's
since
coming
we
out of it.
moved it.
Yeah, well, that one side of the house really gets the sun. That's what it needs.
Yeah, that's supposed to be a dark pink,
Yeah,
real dark,
Yeah.
red pink color.
Then your snapdragons, you got plenty.
Yeah, I have a real pretty border planted in the backyard between, well, we have trees planted all along the property line, and I guess there's about 14 or 15 feet in between each tree. And between these 2 of these trees, we have a real pretty flower border along the fence. And we have tall snapdragons in white, pink, and what they call a bronze color, which is a pretty red-orange
Orange.
color. So we have that combination of colors in the background, and then in front we have the red and pink petunias all in bloom, and then purple alyssum planted in between all that and to the ends, and white put in here and there too. So it's really looking beautiful now, and I just wish it could stay in bloom all spring and summer.
It's really pretty. Smells so good.
And let's see what else. Oh, I've got other flowers next to the house. We've got a nice long flower bed next to the house on the east side, in which on one end we have snapdragons and some more alyssum and petunias, and they look real pretty. And then in the middle section we have our rose bushes, and then in the last section of it we have our tomato plants. It was just a temporary planter area that we were going to start some of these things in until we could get our garden dug up and prepared in the back, but so far we just haven't been able to get to that garden, so I guess we'll be harvesting tomatoes in that little planter area.
Of course, the ground was good. We dug it all up and revitalized it and made it all real good. That's the only thing out here in this country. You have to really go through the soil to make anything grow. Because you're down an inch and a half and you hit nothing but cleaches. It's like getting a jackhammer and going through cement. But once you get it,
yeah, we don't have much rain to soften it up here.
No.
So we have to make the best of it.
Oh, I sure thought it was going to rain today.
Yeah, it was awful windy.
Yeah, she was stormy enough.
Well, it was cold last night. We had to put a blanket on the bed last night.
Yeah, I about froze till I woke up
Jeez,
early
it was
this
just
morning
like
and finally got
wintertime
hold of the
again.
blanket. Another blanket, that is. I thought it was summer and I had taken the wool blanket off my bed.
Well, last month, I guess it was, we just sleep with a sheet, because it was so warm.
Yeah, and sometimes without a sheet.
Yeah, but boy.
Bingo, cold weather again.
Yeah. Boy, I just better go as fast as I can.
Yeah, but when it gets
Well, as I'm
118 this
concerned.
summer, we wish we had a little bit of this cool weather again.
Yeah, I guess so.
Oh, well, We'll miss 3 weeks of it. The last 2 weeks in July and the first week in August, we'll be going. Go back east, back to Pennsylvania, York, Pennsylvania, where I was born and raised.
Have you decided how you're going?
By train. I've decided we're going by train.
Oh, we have we?
I've decided we're going by train, and Kay will tell me tomorrow we're going to fly, so we may
Oh,
fly.
no, I won't tell you.
And I'll tell her to go fly, too.
That sounds like vacation plans, folks.
Right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, actually, it's only a day and a half from here to Harrisburg, which is about 26 miles south of my home. And it's just a little over $400 round trip. The plane is like $626 round trip, so for $226, I think I'll go ahead and take the train.
Do you know for sure which day your vacation starts?
Yeah, the 21st of July.
Of July.
Yeah. To the 11th of August. I have to be back work the 12th of August. So.
Oh, if only we had more than 3 weeks.
I tried to get 5. Hope to get 4, and they gave me 3. So that's like the service.
3 is more than you've had before, isn't it?
Yeah, I've only had 2.
Yeah, we'll get a good vacation.
But see, that one thing good, that extra week will give us time to go down and see Sharon and Susan.
Yeah, you better believe it will. I'll see to that.
Well, what I'll do if I can't borrow somebody's car, which more than likely I can, I'll just rent a car for a week, that's all. One way or another we'll get down there. I don't ever have to rent a car for $119 a week, is what they wanted to rent one for. But it's worth it. Because we're that close, it's only, what do we say it was, $275 to Newport News? 300?
It's
From there.
Gosh, I don't know many.
What, half a day's
well,
drive?
I bet it isn't any more than that.
Yeah.
It was about 150 miles from Washington, D.C. over there to York. And it's 95 miles down to Newport.
250, okay, 250, 275. Yeah, half a day, you can do that.
Oh, yeah.
And if Sharon just happened to be going down to see Susan, I have Mother and Dad take us down, and we could all go in Sharon's car. That way, if anything happened, I could be with them. I mean, not that I'm a mechanic, but
could all go together.
I could try, all together.
Yeah, it scares me to think of Sharon starting out alone with the kids.
Oh, yeah, but Mom, you went alone with us kids, too. I mean, it can be
I
done.
was lucky. I was lucky. By the way, we were talking about Sharon and the kids going down. She's planning on going down to see Susan this summer, taking a trip down there with the kids, because Jack is going to be out at sea from the end of May till the end of September.
No, I thought it was the end of June.
Well, the end of May.
That was the end of this month.
Yes, it's going to be. He's going to be gone for 4 months. So that's going to be a long, old, lonely summer for Sharon.
Catch Sharon then, because if I was her, I wouldn't wait till we got there to go down to see Susan.
Well, you have to get together
too
with
late.
her and on your vacation plan so she knows when to expect you, and then she can make plans too.
Right.
Well, I have to write her a letter.
Right. You put a pen in your hand and you go like this.
Yeah. That's what you call writing a letter.
Yeah, and I could just see those people up in Seattle, shake their heads. Yeah.
That'll be the day.
Yeah, no, I don't write anybody, so no, don't anybody get their feelings hurt.
I don't write my folks either, so.
It's not that we don't think of you or don't think anything of you. That's not the case. It's just a case of a lazy writing arm.
Yeah, my father told me a couple times he wanted to know if I had my arm broke or I was in the hospital or if I was okay or whatever, if I was still breathing. So I guess you just get out of the habit of writing, I guess.
They just pick up the telephone and make a long distance phone call.
Yeah, we spend a little money and make a phone call. Of course, I don't know. Sometimes I kind of get worried about Dad. Sometimes when he was sick there for a while, I'm kind of worried, and I just soon hear his voice, and I could usually tell his voice. If he's good or bad or what have you, and if he isn't, then I call my sister.
You can ask a question and get an answer right then.
Get a right answer, and right away if he's ill or not. But now he's fine. He's real good. And everything's okay.
Hey, Jean, you might want to fill them in on a few details.
Like what?
Oh, like what happened to your dad.
About his heart?
Mm-hmm.
And it was healed, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. They had a full gospel revival from out of either San Francisco or Los Angeles, one or the other, back in around my hometown somewhere. It was on my father had one of the arteries that leads to his heart was hardening, and they didn't know which one it was. So they're going to put him in a hospital and find out which one so they could do something. I don't know what they were going to do. Anyways, they had a full gospel revival back there, and Dad still had a hard time getting around, and some friends of his said, well, come on over to this anyways, we'll take you over and bring you back, and maybe it'll do you some good to get out anyways. So they went over, and of course Dad was there with him, and of course Dad's a Christian, good Christian, and they prayed for Dad and asked God to heal him. This was Saturday night. Sunday morning he got up and he felt fine. He felt real good, and he felt the Lord had healed him. So of course Monday morning he called the doctor and told the doctor what happened, and the doctor said, well, we know this could happen, this is possible, but why don't you come in anyways? And Dad was a little upset, but then Dad called me and talked to me, and I said, well, one thing, if you go down there and let the doctors check you, and the Lord has healed you, all you have to do is go down there and let them check you. That way you show them and prove to them that you're okay. So Dad said he would. So he went down, went in the hospital, and they checked his heart. They pumped some fluid into him so it would go through his arteries and everything, and they checked him out. And he went in Tuesday night, and they checked him out Wednesday. And of course, the doctor came back Thursday morning and walked in the room and told Dad he had some good news. And Dad said, praise the Lord, I know what you're going to tell me, my heart's healed. And of course, the doctor looked at him like he was crazy in a sense, and he said, yeah, you're right, your heart is healed. There's nothing wrong with it. And Dad said, I know that. And he said, I could have told you that before I ever come in. And the doctor said, well, he says, you can go home and you're okay, no problem. So that was one of the great things that happened to me so far in my life. Another thing that I was thinking of is that when I was in the service in 1959, I went to March Air Force Base, and this full colonel there that examined me, and he concluded that I had glaucoma at that time, which was is still an uncurable eye disease, the type I had. And I took eye drops for approximately 11 or 12 years, I guess.
The night I met you, you were using your eye drops.
Yeah,
what,
59.
for the first time,
Yeah.
or?
Anyways,
That was in 59.
Ralph Stevens, Gladys Nervin's son, is an eye doctor, and he was in Las Vegas, New Mexico at the time. The first time I went to see him, and he checked me over, but he didn't really check me over real thoroughly. And he said, "I'm not sure. Everything looks okay, but keep taking your eye drops, and if you get another chance to come back down, I'll really give you a good checkup."
But he said later that he felt at that time that you did not have glaucoma.
Right, but he wasn't
But
absolutely
he didn't
positive.
want to commit himself.
Right, he wasn't
Right.
positive.
Right.
So he said, as far as he was concerned, they didn't do me any harm, so keep taking them. But then we kind of got out of contact in a way. And then in the meantime, he moved to Reno, Nevada. And then we went up there later on to his office, and he went down to his office, and he gave me a real thorough checkup, and he checked me everything he knew medically he could do.
He's
Check
an
my
We
eye.
should, yeah, we
So
should put down right
yeah.
here that he's an ophthalmologist and
Right.
eye specialist.
He's
Right.
more than that. He's a surgeon. He's an eye surgeon.
Eye surgeon.
Qualified to do eye
And he
surgery,
studied
yes.
glaucoma for a year.
So he
He's a
knows what he's
specialist.
doing.
He knows exactly what he's doing, and he gave me all the tests that he knew of. Everything he's ever learned, he tried on me. And he came to the conclusion there's absolutely nothing wrong with my eyes at all.
So I think we have a miracle right in our own
Right.
family.
It's
Yeah,
true.
amen.
It is. I didn't really realize it.
And Ralph
But,
told you that you could have had scar tissue
There's
on your
no scar
eyes
tissue,
from
no
the,
anything. There's absolutely
from
nothing
the eye
on my
drops, but
Yes.
The only
nothing hurt
Well, he
your
finally
eyes.
told you that because he figured if you kept on taking
Taking
your eye drops, the eye drops themselves would damage the eyes.
my eyes.
Right.
And the only reason that I do have headaches, I have sinus trouble, and I have hay fever, what have you, and that's the only thing that's
And
bothering
now
me.
you have found out that you do have some scars on your kidneys.
Yeah,
And that
But-
could have caused the whole thing
Right.
too.
right.
Well, I don't see how that could have.
Oh yes.
It's possibility through
Oh
system.
yes. That controls the fluids
Yeah.
in the body, the way the kidneys operate. See?
But the way the doctor in California told me, he says there's the valve that lets the fluid out of the eye, and there's a valve that lets the fluid into the eye. The one that lets it in was shrunk in half. And it was letting a little bit of fluid in that was putting pressure on my eyes. It wasn't getting the fluid flow right. And that's what my trouble was. So I took
Maybe
these.
it was tension that
It's right.
was affecting
It's
that
possible. Yeah.
muscle.
But now, like Ralph said too, he says, now when they examined me, they didn't know really as much then as they do, of course, now when he knows it. But he said, there's a good possibility that I did have glaucoma then. He said, that's true. But he says, as far as he's concerned, now there's no trace of it. There's no scar tissue, no anything to prove that I ever had it. And the reason I was really believing I had it is because this full colonel had 22 years in the service, and he was in the war and everything else, and he's, as far as I was concerned, he was a good qualified man to examine me.
Didn't they send you to a special place in Texas?
No, they never sent me
To
to
a
Texas.
center down there for a thorough examination? But you went over to Los Angeles once a month
March
there
Air
for
Force
treatment.
Base.
March Air
you
Force
went
Base.
to.
Yeah. But see, this full colonel examined me for about 8 hours one day. Now all he did was examine me for the whole time. And he tried everything that he medically knew. And he told me this. The only thing that he could come up with was glaucoma, but the only reason he examined me so long is because I was too young to have it. See? He said, now 35 or 40 or over, he says it's a possibility. You know,
But it's very rare in a young person.
in a young person, he says it's very, very rare. But now the only thing he came up with is glaucoma. And after 22 years of service, he should know what he's doing.
I
Should've
sure
seen
wish
Wasn't he one of the top?
Yeah, he was one of the top in the United States. So-
Now, Joy is having trouble with her eyes. I understand. I sure wish that we could get Ralph to get her to Ralph for an examination.
Yeah, he would, yes. I have got all the trust and faith in Ralph that anybody can have him, doctor. If he says, I don't have it, I don't worry about it. I don't have it.
And you haven't had any trouble since you stopped
No,
taking the drug?
None whatsoever.
Your eyes look a heck of a lot better.
Yeah. Well, Ralph says that,
Stop taking
Ralph even told me, he said, your eyes he said they may even get a little better because these eye drops are doing you absolutely no good because there's no reason to be taking it. And he was worried more than anything about the scar tissues because it could have injured my eyes more than anything else.
Yeah.
But thank God I'm okay.
Yeah, thank the Lord.
Amen.
And Joy, what in the world is wrong with your eyes? It seems that we heard you'd had a stroke and that you had a tumor behind one eye or something and had lost the sight in one eye. I sure hope that you are going to a good doctor and are doing all that can be done for yourself.
A good specialist,
Yes.
ophthalmologist.
An ophthalmologist.
Right.
An eye specialist who really knows what he's doing. It's pretty darn important. We should say a word to Bill, too, just in case he happens to be there.
And if
Shouldn't
he
we?
isn't there, maybe he'll take some.
Let's
pictures or
hope
something.
that Bill got leave to come home for the wedding.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
too
but-
often you have a marriage in the family.
Right.
That's a special time for your family. And
sure been a long time since we've seen
Bill's,
Bill.
you know, really attached to all of you naturally. You're all a close family, and
We
this
sure
would be a
enjoyed
good
him.
time for you to all be together.
We sure enjoyed him when he was down here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Bill, you never wrote us a letter. Now he'll say, and Muriel, you didn't
never
write
wrote
me
me
one
a-
either.
Yeah. Right.
But we both have good intentions, no doubt.
Well, we're always talking about him and thinking of him. So.
Yes. And by the way, isn't he's either over there in North Carolina or in Georgia. One place or the
Oh,
other.
he's
Say, if
States?
we got down to see
You could,
Susan, we could sure go
Yeah,
by where
now,
he is.
if
and-
they can tell us on the
and
next, if
see
they send
him.
us a tape and tell us, before we go
give
back,
the
that would be
exact
really
address.
neat.
give Bill's exact address and what say he's going to be there at a certain time.
I'll bet you anything that if you went south from Newport News, you'd have to go through his general area
Yeah,
to
if-
get
if
over
we
to
were-
Alabama.
If we were close to there where he is and we knew where he was and his address, we had his address and everything, we could stop by and even say hi to
We
him.
might even get a chance to
we
have a
would
visit.
stop by.
Oh yeah, we'd
For
make
sure,
a
yeah.
point of stopping by after that. Oh sure. If we knew his address and his
Well,
location.
it's in one of
Right.
Joy's letters. I know she sent it to me sometime
Yeah,
this
she
spring.
has.
Of course, is he still there though? That's the
But
thing.
now, wouldn't
Yeah.
hurt you to repeat it on a tape too, you guys.
Yeah, let us know. Right.
Yeah, how about
No,
a fresh address? And
Right.
by the way, speaking about addresses, nobody has ever given me June Carroll's address. Now, I understand that she and Rex have bought another house. They've moved into it, but nobody has ever sent their address, and we didn't hear from June at Christmas time, so we simply don't have their address, which we would appreciate having.
Yeah.
And you could describe her house to us. That would be fun to hear about, too. So let's see, what else? Janet and Irv are also planning to go on a trip this summer. They're going to Minnesota, and they will be leaving the 15th of June by train. You know, Irv loves trains. Besides, it's cheaper than flying. So they're going to take the train to Kansas City, and the bus from Kansas City up to Ames, Iowa, where his folks will meet them at his grandmother's place. And then they will drive the rest of the way with his folks up to Moorhead. Or Lake, well, they have a home in Moorhead, and they have a home at Lake Cabacona. And they probably will spend most of the time at the lake home, which is very nice. We went down there and visited them there 2 years ago. And then they are going to drive up to Rosa for a couple of days too. So they will get to see all the relatives. And Ming, if you are there, you'll get to see my granddaughters.
Yeah, right. Ian and Julie. Oh, they're a handful too.
They're sure cute little kids too.
Yeah.
And that should be somewhere in the last 2 weeks. Oh no, between the middle of June and the middle of July.
Yeah,
right.
Gone for a month, I think.
The last 2 weeks in June, about the first 2 weeks in July.
Yeah, because they will start back for Albuquerque the 15th or the 16th of July.
Yeah.
So he has a month. So sometime in there they'll be going up to Roseau, and I hope you're there too then by then if you're going back there.
Yeah, if
this
he knows
summer.
when they'll be there.
Yeah, you know, Ming, it's not going to be so hard to get gas now as we all thought it would be
I
earlier
don't
this
think there's
year.
any gas problem really anywhere.
No. It'd be a shame for you to put off a trip because of this so-called energy crisis or whatever the heck they want to call it.
It's more, I was going to use a certain word which I shouldn't use. Ripping off the public, I'll call it that.
Yeah, there you go.
Getting more money out of us for gas is what it is.
Too much.
And of course, we still have our same old car, so we are not going to be able to go anywhere unless Ted's willing to tear it down and do some repairing on it. Some necessary work. And if he can possibly tear himself away from his mining interests long enough, that'll be the problem.
Yeah, right.
Right now, he hasn't agreed to do that yet. They get too wound up with these profit deals, hoping to make a profit out of something, and exciting dreams and lots of hard work. He must have done a lot of climbing this time, because boy, he was bushed this morning. He had me worried.
Yeah, I was talking to him out in the garage before I came in the house, and he sounded awful tired and awful.
Yeah.
Oh, he was telling me it's a long, hard grind out there and back. It just takes him a couple of days to get over it. He just.
Well, and they do a lot of mountain climbing and finagling around up there in the mountains. It's hard work, is what it boils down to.
Yeah, has Daddy been trying to lose weight?
Yeah,
He's
I was
rubbing his
surprised.
dick here and there about my weight, but
well, he really has been, though. And I was really surprised when I saw those candy bars out in that other refrigerator.
He bought them from the other guys.
Yeah, my foot.
yeah, I could say
that's
something
like
here.
that's like Kay buying
If
something for
he
me.
said that at
She's
a
an
Weight
up.
Watchers meeting, they'd laugh him right out of there.
Kay said, "Well, I bought this candy for you and that candy for you, and I come home and all I left is the wrappers."
They just like to have that stuff along when they're.
What are you talking about?
Well,
I don't. If in the first
I'll
place,
tell
if
him
I
about
bought
that
any
box of
candy, I sure as hell wouldn't tell you about any of it.
I'll tell him about that box of candy we put in the freezer.
hide it.
Oh God.
Oh, this is one box of candy I can tell about. I bought a box of AIDS.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I-
Yeah, AYDS.
And I treated them all to some AIDS last night
Yeah,
while we were
we-
playing Wahoo. Gladys and Irvin, and Jean is the only one who declined to taste them. But really, they aren't all that bad.
No, they're pretty good.
We'd be in danger of going overboard on the AIDS.
I ate one, but I don't like them. Of course, I'm
But I thought it might help when
I
we get this
suppose
craving for chocolate.
Easy to overdo a good thing.
yeah.
Question
Leave
mark.
it to us. That's what we would do.
Yeah.
Okay, well now to wind up this dieting deal here, I'd like to just state some official statistics here that I was on Weight Watchers for a year, and I did reach my goal weight, and I went below. And I cannot say the same thing right now, but my official statistics was that I weighed 209 pounds before I started Weight Watchers, and I dieted down on Weight Watchers to 126 pounds. And my goal weight was 132, so I did better than that. And so my total was around 80 pounds that I lost. So I just thought I would stick that in there.
And she got her pin from the Weight
Yeah,
Watchers
there's a special
Association.
pin that you get when you reach your goal weight from Weight Watchers, and they have a little, I don't think they're really diamond chips, they might be, but they put what looks like a diamond chip in there for each 10 pounds you lose, and the pin itself stands for 10 pounds. So I've got, I guess it's 7 chips in that pin. So, and that's supposed to be pretty good. At least I think it's pretty good. I'm proud of it. And but I have found through this last year, it's always a struggle to keep your weight down. So we joke around a lot and diet a lot around here. And so that ends that.
Okay, now
Back to
Jean has
Mom.
taken up a new hobby too, that of learning to run a broadcasting station, a radio station.
Yeah, KILA, Christian radio station in Henderson, that we have going here, and they need help out there from midnight till 6 in the morning. So I volunteered to go out and help run the control board, which really isn't too bad, but you have to get over the SCC and get your third-class operator's license, and then work out there for a certain long length of time and take the test, and then get your license that's good for 5 years. But I have to get more time in out there to learn the controls and everything. And I enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. It's a Christian radio station. There's nothing but Christian music and different.
And people call in to ask
right,
for advice on things.
advice
don't
on
they?
things, and a lot of times early in the morning people call in and they want to know how to be saved, or where can I find this in the Bible, or how do I go about doing that. And if you don't know, we have what they call a Bible answer man from 10 to 11:30 every night, and he knows everything about it, and he has a little chart there that we go by, and he leaves a chart there in case you're not sure. You just
Yeah, it's a
you
real
can
worthy.
you give him an idea and say, well, call back a certain time and talk to Bob DeVille with the Bible
Yeah,
answer
it's a
man.
real interesting hobby for Jean.
I enjoy it.
And I
very
think
much.
we're running awful short
Yeah,
here, so we want to say goodbye, but try and get more of the family to visit on your next tape, although we sure did enjoy those who visited last time.
Yeah.
And tell Nat I certainly do remember his sister Ellen, and I'm sorry to hear that her husband died. And we sure did enjoy the description of the shipbuilding. Would like to hear more about that. So goodbye for now. And don't forget to send us another tape real soon.
Yeah, and get everybody on there. John and his new wife to be and everything.
Oh, yes, we'd like to hear from John and Carol.
Right.
And Jerome and Ray and Kelly and all of them.
Anybody.
Anybody who feels like visiting will be here.
Yeah,
Right.
if you don't take your tape recorder wherever you go, start doing it now so you can get everybody on your tape.
Yeah,
we
anything.
love to hear from everyone.
Arguments, fights, anything like that. You know?
Yeah.
Bye.
Like Ming said. This is Gene. Bye.
And this is from Kay. Bye to all of you.
So that tape.
I don't think.
I want Joy to know too, that
Yes.
I made her a gift. And I just don't have any of them sent off.